So here we are, barely finished Passover and back to our virtual shul again. I'm actually beginning to enjoy this whole virtual shul thing. But on a serious note, Shabbat begins this evening at 7:46. We'll be doing our online Ruach Kabbalat Shabbat before Shabbat at 6:30, and tomorrow evening Shabbat ends at 8:47. This week is Parashat Shemini, the third in the third book of the Torah. 91 verses with 17 mitzvot, 11 of which are negative commands, for example, not getting drunk and coming in to serve in the temple, and 6 commands of positive, for example, eating kosher animals and actually checking to ensure that the signs of the animal are kosher, split tubes, chewing the cud, etc. It also has the sad episode of the death of Nadav and Avihu for offering the wrong sacrifice at the wrong time. And it also has the ceremony of the 8th day of the dedication of the tabernacle in the desert. We also wish Mazal Tov to the Zimmermans, who are celebrating the Bar Mitzvah of Adam, who was supposed to be doing it in Shul this week, but we'll be having an online Zoom Mitzvah today. And also we wish Mazal Tov for next week for Gabrielle Abrahams. We'll be celebrating her Bat Mitzvah. All the details are online in the links. The Haftorah this week, I should add, is similar to the story of Nadav and Avihu doing the wrong thing in the tabernacle at the wrong time. Speaks about the ark being touched at the wrong time by the wrong person, who also unfortunately dies as a result. This week is the prayers as we've done in the past. Go through all of the services as you would you're at shul. It is Shabbat Mevarachim, which means we are blessing the forthcoming month of Iyar, which has the acronym of Ani Hashem Rofecha, I am the Lord who heals, and indeed God should heal all of us. The new moon will be seen, or can be seen, on Thursday, 10:58 and 12 Chalakim. That's the ancient Hebrew clock of timings. And Rosh Chodesh Iyar will be on Friday and next Shabbat. We will do an online Hallel service on Friday for all of you. So that's the overview of this week's shul happenings, were we to be in shul, but what we can do at home as though we are in shul. So I rang the fishing helpline the other day and I said, I'm rubbish at fishing. Can you help me? The fellow on the other end said, can you hold on the line? Not funny. Okay, how about this one? Just like shul. A guy's walking along the pier one day and he sees this old fellow with his trousers rolled up and he's got this fake fishing rod and he's sitting there with his sleeves up and he's got his legs dangling in the water and he's going like this. And the fellow goes over and he says, what are you doing? He says, well, actually, I'm fishing for idiots. The fellow says, that's so interesting. Can I join you? He says, of course you can. Come and have a seat next to me. He says, well, now get your rod. And he gets his rod and he pretends to do it. And he says, this is really exciting. He does it. He says, so how many have you fished out today? How many idiots have you fished out today? He says, the old man turns to him and he says, well, actually, you're the third one this morning. Bit better. Okay, good. Well, the reason I bring this up, though, is because this week's Torah portion, we have a verse that speaks about the elements of the fish that make it kosher and make it pure, that we may eat it. And one of them is, two of the items are snapir v'kaskeses. It must have fins and it must have scales. And if it doesn't have either of those two signs, we can't eat the fish. Now, one of the sages make an interesting anecdote to this verse, because of course the Torah is teaching us the laws of keeping kosher and eating fish. But in every verse there are numerous levels and different dimensions. And actually hidden in this verse is something deep for the time in which we find ourselves. What are the snapir and the kaskeses used for? The fins, they're used to thrust and usher the fish along, to move. The kaskeses, the scales, are there as a armor, as a security to protect the fish. What is the water? The water is the reality we find ourselves in. Most of the time we're outside and we're moving around and getting on with life. But sometimes we're trapped and we can't leave the environment in which we find ourselves in, just like the fish in the water, just like people in their homes. But we must learn from the fish. In order to be kosher, in order to be a person of doing the right thing, even though we might not be interacting and doing the usual things where we are tried and tested and putting ourselves in the right mindset in those areas, still we must, number one, like the fish, have fins to thrust ourselves forward. Don't stop. Keep moving. In some way or another in your life, get some oomph behind you. Go along with the stream in whatever growth and level you're able to do. But at the same time, also have casqueses. Make sure you're securing yourself. Make sure you have the right armor and you're protecting yourself in that place. That whilst you are thrusting yourself forward, you are doing it all with the right intention, and you're also at the same time putting yourself in a correct emotional and mental state as well. So whilst the Torah is giving us the lesson of what makes a fish kosher, but it's a lesson for us in our lives. That as we find ourselves in the sea with crazy waves going on around us, we should thrust ourselves forward and make sure we are protected and growing as well. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful, blessed, and very soon we should be all celebrating together back in Shul.